Playing in a higher elo, this is what would happen to you right now. You're full clearing towards bot, right? The enemy generally knows this because Urgot showed up late, okay? So assuming they know that you started top and you have not showed on the map yet, you're pathing towards bottom here, okay? After this, they have full priority in the lane. These three, or at least two of them, are now going to invade you, right? So you're not even, like in a higher elo, you're not even going to get these camps for free or at all. Hey guys, Pope Sano here, back with another VOD review. Today we're looking at an Emerald Jarvan player, which, you know, a lot of these reviews... Oh, okay, whoa. Oh my goodness. Let me get through my intro, my boy. Alright. We are here with an Emerald Jarvan player, and look, what I find pretty interesting here that I'm excited for is that we actually look a lot at the like bronze to gold elo on this channel, and so to look at, you know, another Emerald player, I think this might be our second Emerald player. I'm looking forward to it. So right away, obviously, we're walking into River against a Blitzcrank, so this is probably not what we want to do. You know, maybe just a slight lapse in judgment. Looks like you're probably going to escape here. Wait, do you escape? No. Oh, I didn't see the little thing. I was looking down here. I was like, wait, do you escape? But you do die, which makes a lot more sense. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get into it. So again, guys, when we're talking about jungle, especially, we're talking about detail-oriented stuff. We're talking about getting into the details. We want to be, you know, playing the correct way. Jungle, it's really interesting, right? Because you can play super incorrectly and not get punished at many elos. I would say below like mid diamond or so, you're not going to get punished for a lot of big mistakes. And I mean, even still in diamond, you're not getting punished for some mistakes. And but right away here, obviously, we don't want to be walking into the river against a Blitzcrank. That might just be a lapse in judgment on our part. Now about starting topside, I don't mind starting topside here. This is definitely something where we could full clear our topside and then actually consider just going top, depending on how this is going. Urgot and LOW ELO will probably trade a decent amount. One thing that I like that you did here is you dropped your standard and you drag the camp over this way, so that as you're finishing red, we're doing the camp here, right? Meeting us halfway, so this is really good. Well done there. We're against a Graves, right? So Graves can invade, not necessarily to fight us, but definitely to try to steal some camps away. We know that he started his bot side just based on the fact that LOW ELO was there in lane and their bot lane didn't show up right away. Also makes sense that Graves wants to start red buff in at least many cases. So just while you're doing this, let's take a look at the state of the lane. So going top here wouldn't have necessarily made sense. LOW ELO's not low enough. Waves pushing in. Going mid here doesn't make sense just because of how safe Zoe is right now. So I kind of like pathing bot here. Now we see Graves show up, right? He has 11 CS. So what's really interesting about this is he ends up missing. This is why I rewinded here. Because he has 11 CS, we know that he missed something. The question for us is, did he miss one or did he miss two of his little Krugs? If he missed two, I don't think he would have even got level 3. No, look how just slightly over level 3 he is. So when he has 11 CS and he's still level 3, we know that he's missed one little Krug. Does that end up mattering? It might in the future, but it's not going to for us right now. But these are just some of the things we can think about. Okay, so I hope we're paying attention to this, right? So we're clearing, but we can see this going on. Now, I think what I would have liked to see here is you start your clear, Graves shows up. If it were me, I would have probably just left this and started running bot immediately, because I know for a fact that this is just going to be a fairly volatile fight, and there's probably going to be a lot of HP loss. So Braum and Tristana do a good job of surviving. I would have personally left this camp. I think doing this is too coin flippy, right? In the sense that you are just going like, well, I hope my bot lane survives, because if your bot lane survives, great, you probably get, you know, these camps. Here's the other thing about it. If you're playing in a higher elo, this is what would happen to you right now. You're full clearing towards bot, right? The enemy generally knows this because Urgot showed up late, okay? So assuming they know that you started top and you have not showed on the map yet, you're pathing towards bottom here, okay? After this, they have full priority in the lane. These 3, or at least 2 of them, are now going to invade you, right? So you're not even, like, in a higher elo, you're not even going to get these camps for free or at all, okay? So what I'm trying to say is that by leaving this camp, I guess, you are going to ensure that you can hopefully show up, you can chunk, you might be able to counter gank, you can probably come on the backside of this, which you actually still might. This is okay, so this is really good. So they're backing up. Okay. So, you know, again, this is just my thoughts of how this should play out. Okay, we miss our EQ. That's obviously fairly large unforced error, so we want to try to limit those. But yeah, I hope you know what I'm talking about with the whole, like, just leave your camp, go and try to help out bottom here. Don't let it be a coin flip, because again, in higher elo, if you allow that coin flip to happen, literally Blitz and Graves just walk into your bot side jungle there. Just because the only reason they don't do that is because this is Emerald. Like, no flame to Emerald, but that type of stuff still isn't quite happening here. Okay, we get our full clear. So the other thing I want to say as well, just quickly pointed out, after you kind of looked bot, you walked here and did Gromp first, so that was really good. And the reason why that was good is because we did our Wolves and our Raptors and our Krugs, the most recent, right? Rev was the camp that we started on. So what this means by doing Gromp is our Wolves and our Gromp will spawn closer to each other than if we did Blue first and then Gromp, right? Then there's a bigger space between those two spawning. It just helps with our sequencing. So good job there. Okay, we're going to take Crab here. And we're going to go for the base. So the reason why I'm flipping towards bottom here is because what you could potentially do here, if we're paying attention to the state of kind of what's going on, after you kill the crab, I would personally probably walk towards bottom and start basing in this bush or so. Like, you know it's not warded, right? You hit that cone earlier and they haven't walked up there. So you know it's not warded. So after I kill crab, I would actually just spend the extra 5 seconds, which I generally don't like doing early, but here I would. Why? Because we can see the wave state. It's coming down here into the lane. Like, sitting here with your Tristana half HP alone, she's asking to die, right? Or in this case, we know that she ends up blowing flash. If you come in base right here, then what you are doing is you're spending 5 seconds of your tempo to give Tristana an ability to either shove this in, or if they get aggressive, then you're here to basically cancel your back and start fighting this, right? So imagine right now, let's just imagine our head. So instead of basing, you're walking down slowly, you're walking down slowly, you're walking down slowly. Around this time, you're getting to the bush, you would actually be able to go in here. Now, obviously you can't tell that is exactly going to happen, but I'm just saying from the state of the wave, we can tell that Tristana needs a lot of help. And so simply, sometimes just hovering, being around a lane, is all the help that they need, right? Just something to consider. Okay. Alright, so we're going to sequence our top side here. You ended up buying a pickaxe, which is a nice amount of AD for you. Jarvan can absolutely full clear, and this is why this is in part why the champion is so strong right now. I mean, his build is crazy good. But the fact that he's so versatile, he can full clear, he can gank, he can invade, it's really, really crazy. So, again, looking at the state of the wave in this situation, we just go back to here. You're level 4. Okay, two things. You're level 4, state of the wave. So doing this camp is good because it gives you level 5, right? So that's what I want you to think right now. Doing that camp is good, gives you level 5. Now here, we should be watching the whole time, okay? We're doing this camp and we're watching all the lane states, okay? The one we're most interested in right now is bot because our bot lane has to walk up here, okay? Whenever your bot lane or whenever their bot lane is around these areas, we're really paying attention to what's going on. We should be paying attention anyway, but in this position, we're keeping a hawk eye here. Reason why I say that is because as you finish this, look, you hit level 5, look at the state of the wave. I am very concerned knowing how basically your intuition should be going off. Graves was bought about 2-ish minutes ago. About 2 minutes ago, Graves was bought, right? He was around here messing around. Then he left. We know that he went towards his top side, okay? And now, after that, it makes sense that he's going to be back towards bot side, right? So here, my spidey senses would be going off, thinking Graves could easily be ganking here. Likewise, this is prime real estate for Blitzcrank to start getting aggressive, looking for a hook, as we've seen him do. So what I'm trying to say is, I would not be waiting here for this Gromp. I would already be coming down into the lane, looking for a lane gank, looking to counter gank, dropping a ward, something like that. Because Gromp does not give you a level, it does not give you an item that you need, okay? B, because your bot lane is in a dangerous situation and your hovering can really help. And C, because this is genuinely a perfect opportunity to spend a bit of time to get into a lane and look for a gank because Gromp has time to spawn, right? So you're waiting here for a few seconds. One thing I will say that I kind of like that you did is at least you stood out here. You didn't go and stand here. So if something did start happening, you would have been a bit closer. But overall, I think we could have been thinking about that a little bit better. Because, like right here, obviously the wave is starting to push. But for about 3 to 4 minions, your bot lane could not walk up at all, right? But now there is going to be an opportunity to come bottom here. So I'm really interested to see what you do. Okay, you're picking Dragon. Okay, so I'm not a fan of this Dragon play for a few reasons. A, we don't know where Graves is right now, okay? Could easily be bot side. B, no prio mid, your mid is basing. C, no prio bot. I like looking for early dragons, by the way. But like in this situation, it just... what happened to the wave here? So they clear it. I think you get lucky that Ashe and Blitz are very indecisive here. They don't know what to do. So I like that you're looking for objectives, but at the moment you started it, to me, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay. This gank very seldom is going to work. So coming into the bush here, I mean, right here after Blitz like loses his hook or misses his hook, excuse me, you don't have any angle to just run at them this way. You're out of range for your EQ. Ashe is all the way back here. She has a slow. Blitzcrank has his W to speed away. To me, this is a very, very low percentage gank, and so, you know, we need to be, you know, as an Emerald player, we want to be, I guess, aware of these types of things. And like percent ganks like that, like I would say, just going back, like not to beat a dead horse here, but in this scenario with what you actually see going on, this gank is genuinely like a 30 to 20%. Like this is probably a 20% per, you know, gank, right? Just based on all the information we have here. No, like you guys don't have flashes. They're in a really safe position. They have way to escape you. You don't have an angle to get behind them from here, right? Just so many reasons why. And so, like in Emerald, we need to be cleaning this stuff up. This can't happen in Emerald. Okay. So this is, I mean, this is Urgot's fault. He gets himself chunked, loses a bunch of his HP. We're here to pick up the wave at least. Okay, so you're going to pick everything up. So I hope you're establishing baselines for Graves, right? His camp tracking would have been slightly important this game, but to me it doesn't seem like this is something you're actively thinking about just by the way that you are pathing around the map. So if you lose track, remember, every camp is 4 CS. We can reestablish a baseline. Okay, so just backing up slightly here. Sorry, I was talking about something else. So you end up picking up the wave. Graves dies, and so what I like here is we're immediately going towards the objective. Now it's interesting, right? Because you can see a completely different scenario than when you did Dragon, right? So you have literally opposite end scenarios of when you're deciding to start an objective. And so I'm pointing it out, A, because I was giving you a bit of flack for when you started Dragon and the reasons I said, but this is really good, right? Like, Graves is dead. Graves just died. He's going to be in base. You have prio mid. You have prio top. You even have Scuttlecrab, right? All these reasons make perfect sense for why you want to do this. But the other reason why I say this is because, as you guys can see in Emerald, there's still these consistency issues. And I think that's one thing I'm continuously surprised by Emerald a little bit, is the consistency isn't quite there yet. Okay, let's go back into our sequencing here. We have about 800, 900 gold right now. Gonna clear our camps. We can speed through this a little bit more. Okay, good job paying attention to the map here. The only thing I want to say about this, right? Is it worth ganking this Alawi, right? Again, if we're talking about percent ganks, I personally am not convinced that this is a good gank. I'll point out 2 reasons why. A, Alawi is significantly stronger than Urgot. B, Alawi is the quintessential 1v2 top laner. She's going to pull out the ghost. She's going to slam her tentacles down with her ulti. She's going to kill somebody, right? There's a huge gold gap between these two, and we know that based on kills. Oops. We know that based on kills. 1 kill to 0. Assists. 1 assist to 0. CS. Huge CS gap, right? Almost 24 CS. So right now, we're looking at, just looking at this, we're looking at almost 1,000 gold diff. And Alawi just came back and spent all of her gold. So just looking at the items alone, I'm not convinced that this is going to work out. The other thing, again, you have no idea where Graves is. If Graves shows up here to this low percentage gank, you guys both die. Okay, she's gonna burn flash here. Yep. This is exactly what I was worried about. Call me Prophet Paisano. Call me Prophet Paisano. So again, what I'm seeing from you right now is your sequencing is okay, but your decision of when and where to gank is probably your biggest point of consideration right now. Something you need to be really thinking about. So for you, we can talk about blaming our teammates, right? And I'm not saying that you do blame your teammates. I don't know what your attitude is about your teammates. But my point being, if we go all the way back here, you are forcing Urgot into a situation where he's going to lose infinite, right? He's losing this whole wave. If this goes wrong, you're going to lose the tower, right? You're giving Graves an advantage, a potential advantage by coming in here to get the juiciest counter gank in history. And I think Graves does a good job. I'm pretty sure he actually leaves his camp. Yeah, he does. Graves does a fantastic job at recognizing that he can come straight top here. And yeah, we can see. So this is on both you and Urgot, but as a jungler, we have to be ensuring that we're putting our lanes in a good situation based on where we decide to gank. So that mistake, that's potentially a game-losing type mistake. Okay, so here I'm sensing a bit of tilt from you here. So you haven't done this quite yet, right? So we come bottom and we instantly do our blue, but blue isn't going to give us level 8. Blue isn't going to give us more mana. Isn't going to give us more HP. Isn't going to give us an item, right? There's no reason to take blue here. And the reason why I say that is because if you came bottom, you did blue, then you did Gromp, and then you did, you know, wolves, and you're going back towards your top side or some other type of sequence. Basically, if you cleared every camp. Okay, fine. He's trying to full clear. Okay. At the end of the day, at least you're getting gold. At least you're getting XP. Here, you're splitting yourself. So you take blue, and then you decide to come bottom. Okay, so let's go back. So here, what I would have liked to see. Look at the state of this. Look at the state of the. What am I trying to say? Look at the state of bot lane. That's the word I'm looking for. Is bot lane. So right here. Look at where Blitzcrank is, right? Like there's some fighting going on, and we're still trying to clear. I would have liked to see you just go straight bot. If you're gonna go bot, just go bot. But overall, at least you get the kill, so that's good. Okay, she's gonna drop her stopwatch. Okay. Ooh, she missed. Oh my goodness. How the heck did she miss that? Okay, so just going back to this point. Okay, we do Scuttle Crab. Now we're looking mid. I really like that. I really like when you decided to go in here. Zoe uses her ulti. Zed uses his ulti. It, you know, it made perfect sense for me to go in here. The only thing I would have liked to see is, this is nitpicky, but again, if you're looking to get into Diamond, these are the things you start to think about. In this situation, you chunk her right here. What positioning do you need to have? You're kind of walking in a passive way, right? And you may be looking at this going like, what do you mean it's passive? He's literally in the fight. But this is the details I'm talking about. What do we know about Graves' auto attacks? They can be blocked, right? So, here, if we just zoom in, there was at least 1 or 2 auto attacks onto the Zed that you should be tanking, right? So instead of kind of walking like this and going around behind your Zed, I want you to be just getting on top of this guy. Let's get in between him and Zed, and then Zed can be autoing. Zed can be putting out damage, right? This is how we win 2v2s, and we turn a potentially bad situation into a good situation. Okay, but good job. I do like the gank mid, so that was really good. Okay, Braum is giving us some priority here. We're gonna try to escort the Rift Herald in, and we do. Okay, Braum has to be careful here. He's gonna be okay. Ooh, I don't think that you recognized how good this looked. Okay, so right here, after this pull, we're going in. EQ. EQ. Right? Everything's being dropped on top of these guys. I don't think you recognized how much damage that Zed could put out. But that is A-okay. Oh, nice. He makes a big error. Okay. This is a way back into the game. Huge, huge, huge. Okay. So we're going to pick up Dragon here. Okay, so right here, boom, we're basing. You have almost 1,800 gold. Do not do this camp, right? The only way I say do this camp is if it's gonna give you an item, which it's not going to. You have more than enough to finish your Gourd Drinker. Okay, I want you to just base here and get the item. That's the word I'm looking for. So the thing is, right? In this situation, if you based right, go back. If you based right here, right after Dragon, okay, with your 1,800 gold, you go back, you get Gourd Drinker, you can now come back out and I mean, you can make the choice based on what's going on. You can go top, you can go to your Krugs, or you go to your Gromp, and you can sequence full clear one way or the other, right? You're doing the camps faster, you're doing the camps healthier, you're doing the camps more efficiently. They're going to spawn quicker, right? So doing these camps, all you're doing is splitting the map on yourself. So now the only place to go is top because your bot side camps are going to be up for 2 minutes, right? Alright, sorry, just took a sip of water. Okay, so we do base. Come out of base. Now we're sequencing our top side. Let me just take a look at what's going on here. So our top laner's dead. We see Zoe. And you're just gonna go down here. So again, I'm gonna say it's not just ganking, right? Probably the biggest mistake I'm seeing consistently is knowing what is like a high percentage play, like something that is an 80+% play, or something that is basically like a probably 50% chance, or lower percent play, right? If we're going for 80+% plays, we're talking about plays where we know about sums. We see a clear way to get on top of somebody. We have support, right? We know how to execute our abilities. It's like 80+%. We're talking about plays that are fairly free, very free. As junglers, you know, I was talking to Perry Jungle, the pro player, about this, and he was saying that we need to be looking for this so consistently that we're actually just like focusing on farming, playing defensive, full clearing, counter ganking, ensuring that our lanes can't get behind because we're hovering, doing things like that, taking these 80% plays and converting them into advantages. Whereas these are generally the 50% or less, or generally the high risk, high reward plays, right? Maybe you're like, I don't know if I'm going to get this kill, but I'm going to get that, you know, 1k shutdown or something like that. Those are good 50% plays at times, but you're going for 50% plays where even if it works out for you, there's very little advantage you're going to get, right? In this situation, let's say you kill Zoe. Let's say you just kill Zoe for free. Do you get anything else off that? Not really. Like, I guess maybe Zed is able to finish mid tower, but here, like, your top lane is dead, you don't know where Graves is, right? Very, very low percentage. So high risk, high reward, it backfires on you. So again, like, you're clearing, your sequencing in general is really good, right? Even there's times where I can tell you're reading like the map state, you're looking at waves, that's all good. But it's about doing this more consistently all the time. Like, basically this game is a story of one moment you're doing that well, and next moment you're not doing that well enough, and it's leading to you know, big advantages for the blue team. And by the way, guys, I just want to say, like, for people that choose to get their gameplay reviewed, this is a very vulnerable situation for them, right? Like, they are actively going, hey man, I lost this game, or I didn't play well in this game, I want to be better. And I'm telling them, hey man, I'm going to put this up on YouTube and potentially thousands of people are going to see this, you know? And they're A-okay with it. Like, I commend you for doing that, because that is what it takes to improve. Not, you know, necessarily posting your gameplay on YouTube, but, you know, getting feedback, getting criticism sometimes, constructive criticism, of course, showing the things you're doing good and bad. So I commend everyone that's doing that for having the proper mindset, I think. So anything I say here, it's not flame, it's not trying to put anyone down, but we're trying to dig into the details so that we can ensure that people are improving, right? Okay. Okay, a bit of dancing going on here. You happen to see Zoe. Overall, I think, like, it's funny, right? Because again, I'm gonna harp on consistency right now. What do we know, right? You know that obviously you can engage on Zoe, which ends up being good, but why? To our top, we know where Graves is. Alawi's dead. We know where their bot lane is. Zoe's alone. Right? If Zoe's alone, yeah, Jarvan can absolutely jump on top of her, right? So when I'm talking about consistency, what I'm saying is, like, you will do this, which is a good play. I like that you tried to kill Zoe here. You tried to chunk her. Well done. Like, genuinely, I mean that. Well done. This is a great fight. We know where Graves and Alawi are. Like, awesome, man. This was so good. I want you to be doing this more often when you have the proper information, but so frequently we're not doing this when we have information that is telling us that it's actually a really low percentage play, you know. So consistency. Okay, consistency issues again. Now, right back here, when you got the kill on Blitzcrank, okay, Dragon's not going to be up for a bit. You can't actually hover around here, right? So while I'm praising you, then we see how it flips again. So we don't have support actually to be walking through here. Zed's not with us. These two are walking away, and we're still walking through. You get chunked, and the thing is, now Graves and Alawi are back onto the map. They've had enough time. So what I talk about is tempo, right? When you get something, depending on the time of the game and how much you get, when I'm talking about kills when I say when you get something. So 1 kill generally equals 1 tempo, right? 1 tempo. Tempo, you get to make a choice with tempo. What do you want to do? Do you want to base? Do you want to shove in a lane? Do you want to fight someone else? Do you want to take an objective? This is how you spend tempo, right? So 1 kill generally gives us 1 action to do, okay? Depending on the game, because the longer the game goes on, the longer people are dead. If you get 2 kills, right? If you get 2 kills, then you get 2 tempo, right? Again, depending on how early. If it's level 1, you don't really get any tempo whatsoever because they're instantly back on the map with home guards. Right, so you get the point. So here, we got a few things. We chunk Zoe a little bit. We end up killing Blitzcrank. That's all really, really good. But Dragon is not up. So by the time that you decide to use your tempo action on Dragon, you still are under the illusion that you have this tempo, even though you don't have the kills anymore because they're up on the map, right? So, and it's not always your kills, right? In this case, it was Urgot 1v2ing top lane, doing a good job. So by the time you start Dragon, that tempo from top lane, it's gone. So, I don't even know how you didn't notice Graves. Wait, what? Oh, red vision for a second. Do you not see Graves come in here? I guess... I guess not. That's crazy. Okay. So yeah, the consistency issues strike again, and the kind of being under the illusion that you still had tempo in this game, at least at this point in the game, ultimately ends up losing your team, the Dragon, and another team fight. Like, at this point, I would say that there's enough mistakes that we're basically at an end of review type situation, you know, similar to what the Broken by Concept guys would say. You know, when you were making mistakes this large, we're talking about it's kind of hard to glean information from the rest of the game just because that mistake alone was so large. That said, let's go back here. So you get pulled in. I really like that you held your EQ, by the way. So this is one thing I'll point out you did really, really well. You get hooked. Generally, what people would do is, or actually, let me before I say this, let me just go back. Not that I don't trust you. Oh, right. Okay, sorry. Yeah. My apologies. So you EQ'd away. I'm thinking that you have your EQ right here. Nevertheless, your EQ ends up being really good. You knock up 2, end up getting a kill, and then you come in and you land another great EQ. So it's funny because, like, mechanically speaking, you're actually not bad. Oh, Zoe DC'd. Yeah, mechanically speaking, you're not bad. Let me just go back here. Okay, so EQ in. I'm just paying attention to your CDs here. So in this situation, I forgot to mention this. I think you tried to use your Q onto the standard that was already there. Let's just EQ out of base every time. Just something to point out. But yeah, I think mechanically you're not too bad. Like, you know, you generally know Jarvan's kind of main combos. using your ult pretty well this game. It's just the decision making that I'm paying attention to here. It honestly looks like for the rest of the game, you guys just get kind of run over for the next 15 minutes. Just looking at the kind of the kill feed. So yeah, we're just clearing here. Okay. So the blue team throws. What are we going to do with this? Okay, here, I'm not hearing pings. So as a jungler, when we get 2 kills like this, right, 32 seconds, 44 seconds, this is what I'm talking about. You have huge tempo action to choose here. Baron is the obvious choice, right? And especially you're all together. If you just started spam pinging Baron, that you guys can go. You're also going towards the side of the map where Zed is. Maybe you could send Urgot to go deal with a LOW. This is very clear Baron. So this is on us as a jungler to be spam pinging. Okay, we see this advantage. Let's ping. Help on the Baron. So what I want to point out here, right, and I hope we can see this a little clearly, you're choosing to use your massive tempo actions that you have off these massive picks to get a bit of vision and to just farm some camps, right? We need to think bigger. When we're at 24 minutes into the game, we have to think as big as possible. What can we get? Dragon is good, but I imagine here if you guys were already finished Baron and in base. Okay. Let me just see how you played this here. So, I would not have EQ'd here. And the reason why I say that is just because basically Ashe does exactly what I was thinking. When we're talking about percentage plays, we're not just talking about, I guess, like macro plays. We're also talking about mechanics sometimes. So you're standing here and you're going to EQ to here. You're EQing into darkness. You don't actually know where Ashe is going. So yeah, she came in here, but now she has a 50-50. She could go down or she could go up. Or, I mean, she could even kind of walk this way. There's too many ways for her to go. So what I would have liked from you is just to follow her, right? Just face check this. If she's down here, now you have a way better EQ option because she doesn't have, you know, as many options of basically ways to go. She's kind of in more of a corridor, I guess you could say, in between these walls. Whereas here it's much more open. Point being, just don't be too hasty. Okay, good job canceling your own ult when she flashes away. I'm going to take a look at this here. Okay, so you're going to EQ flash. Ooh. So you flash too early, I think. So this is definitely a hard mechanic to pull off, but you flash like right here, and you just don't quite make it, right? So you can see where your little flash particle went. So you're flashing approximately here, but look at where your standard is. You're going to go all the way here already, right? So you can wait until pretty much the very end of this animation, and then you're flashing forward on top of somebody. All right. So you're still chasing now. She has Ghost, and yeah. So when the fight started, it was good. Even here, it's still good. You mess it up, but the second that she starts ghosting, and you're slowed, you're not catching her, right? So this EQ ends up getting yourself killed. So again, I'm sensing maybe a little bit of tilt. You can let me know later if you're feeling that yourself. Okay. So we're gonna die again, and I'm just looking down here at the kill feed. I just want to actually move it a bit forward here. So I want to see, because there's a bit of a gap, and then you guys kind of just lose out. So let's see. Is there any opportunities? Because for you, right, the only thing ultimately is you're looking for an opportunity to engage to get something, right? You're nice and tanky. Really nice EQ, really nice ult. Okay, you are going to go down. I think this is a product of your team just being too behind, but this is a really nice engage from you. Zed goes down a bit too early as well there, unfortunately. So this is good. I mean, it's a good try, but yeah, I mean, they're just gonna is going to clean you guys up, unfortunately. So again, just to reiterate, guys, like, what are we talking about this game? Okay. What are we talking about this game? We're talking about consistency issues with where and when to gank. We're talking about consistency issues with where and when to fight. Not just ganking, but like just generally fights. Who are we trying to surprise over the wall, right? You jumped on Zoe twice this game. One was a really good play. One was a pretty bad play, right? Where's Graves? Who has prio? Who has the level advantage? Who has the item advantage? These are all things that we need to be considering. And unfortunately, I don't see our friend considering that quite yet. But you know, again, guys, like jungle is it's about patterns. It's about recognizing patterns. It's about instilling patterns into our brain and trying to understand or trying to distill down like what types of patterns can we start to recognize that tell us this is a good play or this is a bad play, right? This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. And so as we can see in Emerald, it's still some consistency issues. Really nice flash EQ. I don't know if you went for the EQ or the flash EQ rather than the EQ flash because, you know, you don't, you failed the last one. Oh my goodness. Wait, how do we not get this? You have smite up. Did you... I don't know if you noticed if you had smite up or not. I'm looking down here. You have 2 charges of smite. Maybe you just assumed it was gone. Oh, man. No way. He gets it. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I mean, in this situation, right? You can almost buffer smite in a way. So as you're using EQ... So right... Like right here... I'm instant EQing, and when you're already starting to come in, I'm mashing my smite on top of Baron. I don't know if you're doing that. It was extremely close. Extremely close. Good try, though. Honestly, really good try. Okay, but it looks like that's pretty much going to be it. They're going to take 2 inhibs here, and that's going to be the end of the game. So, I would love to actually see you as a student again at some point, because this game for you, it's not necessarily about the mechanics. It's not about someone inting you. It's not about you inting even. Nothing like that. This is strictly about, are we able to recognize patterns? Right now, you're recognizing some, but you're not recognizing the other, right? So I would love to see you back again. And I mean, ultimately, for the more that I see with Emerald players, like this is the crux, you know, pattern recognition. Can we recognize when something is good or bad? We have, in Emerald, we generally have most of the basics down, but we're still not recognizing patterns. So guys, the blue team here, they're going to end right away. And I just want to say again, thanks everyone for the support. It has been absolutely wonderful to interact with you guys, to see that people are liking my content. It has truly been a blast so far, a really fun first month. I'm looking forward to a lot more. If you enjoyed or if you learned something, leave a like, leave a sub. Pope out.